Battle through the firmament. Great world. Chapter 497. The arrival of the Spirit King. Green waves rolled in the vast sea of trees like endless waves. Above the sea of trees, endless black key filled the air. Within the black key, a golden door that seemed to illuminate the ages slowly opened. In an instant, the starlight that covered the entire Jade Palace could not help but surge into the door. What is this? Seeing that their ultimate skill was swallowed by the huge door, Zhu Man and Meng Duo were shocked. The former's eyebrows were raised in anger, and he kept roaring furiously. He exerted all his strength, but the huge palm formed by the stars was still out of his control. Break for me. Meng Duo's eyes turned red. He saw that all of his attacks were directed at the giant golden door behind Xiaoyan. While feeling furious in his heart, he let out a loud shout. His 5 fingers suddenly clenched, and the sound of bones cracking could be heard. His expression was ferocious. There seemed to be a cluster of raging flames burning between his brows. At this moment, all the strength in his body had gathered on his 5 fingers. In the next moment, the star blades that looked like a heavy rain howled. Just as they were about to enter the huge golden door, they turned into stars that filled the sky and dissipated with a loud bang, bombarding the huge golden door. Woo! Xiaoyan felt a sweetness in his throat. He forcefully swallowed the blood that had rushed to his mouth. At the moment when the huge golden door was struck, he felt as if he had suffered a heavy blow, and his entire body trembled. His sharp eyes looked at the golden door behind him. Although it was on the verge of collapse after being struck by Meng Duo's final attack, it had still successfully swallowed Zhu Man's star-extinguishing palm. Hong Long. The huge golden door let out a trembling sound. Traces of marks could be seen all over the huge door. The black key that permeated the air was whimpering, as if it was going to disappear at any time. Xiaoyan took a deep breath. His heart moved freely. As the black key surged, the huge golden door slowly disappeared. This world had once again regained its clarity. Although there were some mistakes in the process, it had successfully blocked the attacks of the 2 of them and achieved the desired effect. Thinking of this, Xiaoyan couldn't help but sigh slightly. When Jade Fairy used this move, she had blocked the strongest attack of the Emperor cultivation level Yin Juxuan, the Dark Soul. But now, the power of the Great Yin Burial technique wasn't even 10% as powerful as the former. A strange technique. Meng Duo panted heavily as he stared at Xiaoyan. With a flip of his palm, a red medicine pill was swallowed by him. The number of Origin Monic Kiss consumed during the earlier action had far exceeded his imagination. Zhu Man, don't delay any longer. Use the sword formation and completely kill him. Meng Duo gritted his teeth and shouted. With a flip of his wrist, a transparent longsword appeared in his hand. Although he looked like he was sneering at Xiaoyan for winning the first place in the 4 academies competition, he was still afraid of Xiaoyan. The Kangs were not as useless as the Xiao clan, where the sun was setting. There were hundreds of thousands of talented descendants. Kang Feng, on the other hand, was among the best in the Kangs, so his strength must not be weak. In fact, he wouldn't be weaker than them. Since this guy in front of them could defeat Kang Feng, if they were not careful, the 2 of them might die here. Alright, although Zhu Man did not think as far ahead as Meng Duo, he realized that the man in front of him was not simple. Immediately, he let out a long roar, and held his long sword in his hand. Sword light surged and cut through the void. Streaks of visible stars appeared in the air. The moment the traces of stars appeared, the entire space was immediately filled with a ferocious sword intent. It was like numerous deadly blades, and the sword key was sweeping across, causing people's skin to hurt. Xiaoyan's heart skipped a beat. The sword formation used by these 2 men was faintly visible. Hong Long. Just as Xiaoyan was thinking about how to deal with their sword formation, his heart suddenly moved. He silently looked into the distance. With his powerful soul energy, he could clearly feel a powerful key rushing towards him from afar. Xiaoyan, hurry up and leave. You are no match for this guy. Xiaoao had been in Xiaoyan's body the whole time. His main body was the holy beast, and he could sense this faintly discernible aura in an instant. Immediately, he spoke anxiously. On the other hand, Zhu Man and Meng Duo had placed all their attention on the sword formation. Countless of sword ki swept across the place, as if it had sealed the entire world. Then, they lunged at Xiaoyan. "Let's go." A grave expression flashed across Xiaoyan's eyes. He did not hesitate any longer. Flames surged around his body as he clenched his 5 fingers tightly. The blue flame ruler had already appeared in his palm. Sizzle sizzle. The enormous ruler spread wide and wide, covering Xiaoyan's entire body tightly. Numerous traces of starlight surged over, but there was not the slightest trace left on the blue flame ruler. Star explosion. Meng Duo sneered. The longsword in his hand suddenly swung down. The blade of the sword vibrated. Countless streams of star sword ki seemed to have a spirit of their own as they strangely surged towards Xiaoyan. This is a good opportunity. The moment Meng Duo swung the sword down, Xiaoyan's eyes suddenly flashed. The skin on his body was immediately covered with cracks that looked like a cliff. With a flash of his body, he forcefully withstood the attack of several star sword ki and rushed towards the distance. Damn it! Seeing that Xiaoyan had escaped, Zhu Man furiously shouted. The long sword in his hand trembled violently. The sword formation that had been formed by the two of them was aimed at Xiaoyan. This attack had consumed almost all of their origin kiss, and it had already locked onto Xiaoyan's ki. You have been struck by the Starlight Sword Scar. Even if you have consumed the incarnation pill, using the breath-concealing technique will still be useful. Meng Duo consumed another medicine pill. As one of the 10 great guardians of the extreme star group, whether it was in terms of talent or ability, he was one of the best. However, the lack of the origin ki greatly limited his improvement. Xiaoyan rushed forward at the front. Unknowingly, he had already entered deep into the forest. Behind him, the star sword ki cut through the void and rushed over. Zhu Man and Meng Duo were chasing closely from afar. Although their origin ki had been severely damaged, it was likely that Xiaoyan's origin ki would not be able to hold on for long. Ha ha! While the two of them were chasing closely, a fierce laughter suddenly came from afar. Wherever the sound wave came from, a series of rumbling sounds resounded unceasingly. It was as if a devil had descended from the heavens. Who is it? When they heard this voice, Zhu Man and Meng Duo's facial expression changed. They immediately stopped and looked at each other in dismay. It's Spirit King. This is his demonic sound technique. Meng Duo pondered for a moment, then he suddenly realized what was going on. With a furious roar, he instantly abandoned Xiaoyan. With a wave of his sword, the star sword ki in front of him was absorbed. He knew very well that he was going to attack from behind. The resentment between the group of spiritual kings and the extreme star group was very deep. Previously, they were here to complete the mission. Initially, he thought that he would leave after handing the mission over. They didn't expect to meet Xiaoyan, and even more so, they didn't expect to alarm the spiritual king. You dare to behave atrociously in the territory of the group of spiritual kings. The moment Meng Duo roared, a voice was heard. The tone of the voice was filled with incomparable coldness. I would like to see how powerful your extreme star group's astral sword formation is. In the distance, a human figure rushed over with lightning speed. When he saw the condensed astral sword ki in front of him, he couldn't help but laugh out loud. After that, he let out a cold snort and waved his hand. It was as if he had stirred up everything in the world. The huge palm struck out gently, bringing along boundless origin ki of heaven and earth, and struck the astral sword formation that was filled with killing intent. Crack, crack, it only lasted for a moment, and the star sword ki that was insufferably arrogant earlier had already shattered inch by inch. After that, it turned into starlight that filled the sky and dissipated. At the same time, Zhu Man and Meng Duo's facial expression changed drastically, and they couldn't help but spurt out a mouthful of blood. Two useless things. After shattering the star sword formation with a single palm, a figure gradually appeared in the sky. A cruel and indifferent look was seen in his single eye. He looked at Zhu Man and Meng Duo, who were not far away, and spoke in a cold voice. Where's Xiaoyan? Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.